Hello everyone, and welcome back to Honestly Tea, where you're honestly just getting me. So we're back with another felt needling video, and this time, this is going to be my redemption arc. I know that the last one that I did is cute, but I feel like it wasn't up to my Honestly Tea standard of trying. I mean, I did try last time. Don't think that I didn't. I don't know. I feel like, because this one that you're about to see is a sleeping elephant. It was more, it had more elements to it. And it was a little bit more complex. And I feel like this one turned out better than the other one, which was supposed to be more simple. So now I'm sitting here is it because I like more complicated things and causes me to focus more? Or maybe the designs take up more time? I don't know. But I hope you guys like it. I think that you guys liked the last one, so I'm doing it again. And I'm holding myself accountable this time. Next week will definitely be a paint by number that I think that you guys will like. And I hope that you guys will like, so be on the lookout for that next week, Sunday. So, I was debating about talking about what happened on this past Wednesday at the Capitol or not, because on the one hand, I'm not the hugest political person. I'm not one to be like, this is right, this is wrong, or I'm not one to make anybody else feel like whatever political affiliation that they have is right or wrong. And I never want people to feel that way, regardless of who you put your faith in and who you don't. That's your decision. But it was just such a huge event. For the fact that it's still being talked about to this day, and I know that many other YouTubers are already talking about this topic, already making jokes about it, already, saying what they want to say, get it off their chest about it. I was just like, I don't know if I really want to be a plus one to that, since it's already bad. However, I do realize that though small, this is a platform that I have to speak my mind. And I shouldn't be afraid to speak my mind, because this is my channel. And those that don't like me talking about that could either just stop listening to this video and continue with other ones. Perfectly fine. Or just not listen in general. I shouldn't really have to care about pleasing an audience that is watching in on what I am and what I do. And you get the honest me, because this is Honestly Tea. So let's talk about Wednesday. That was a long rant to get to where I'm at now. I guess disclaimer warning, if you don't want to listen to this, you can mute me. You could skip on to the next video. I will not be, my feelings will not be hurt, and I will completely understand. But if you're here for the ride and want to hear my opinion about what happened Wednesday and kiki with me, you're more than welcome to stay. Now, Wednesday was an event. Let me tell you, I woke up bright and early by 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, and y'all know the struggle too. But I woke up and I was just like, you know what? Let me go on a walk with my mother. So we went on a walk. And as we were going for the walk, the news came on, and it was we got in the car, I believe. I remember we heard something about it right before we left out about the Capitol. But then when we got into the car and listened to 1010 News, it was bam. I don't even know how to explain the feeling, but it was just hearing about the rioting that was going on. I refuse to call it a protest. Hearing about the rioting that was going on and how they were able to break, we heard real time them breaking through the barriers and getting into the Senate, shots fired, shelter in placing location. And it's just madness and pandemonium. And again, for me, I don't care what political party you're in. I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're liberal. I don't care if you're none of the above and you're something else or not at all. I don't care. What I care about is these are people. These are lives. A life is a life regardless of how they live it. These are senators, people who we elected whether we wanted to or not to be in a position of power. And they're trying to do their job. You can't fault them. You don't even know what the result could have been. And that's the crazy part too. They were going through the process. I would understand a little bit more if this riot was, oh, we don't like the decision that you came to at the end. But you don't even know what what would have happened at the end of the day? These are people that had to fear for their lives. And my mom brought up a good point that they were older people as well. Some that might be in their 60s or in their 70s. Like, that could have been a heart attack that they could have had. That could be injuries that they suffer that they can't recover from. These are human beings. And I'm saying that for the other side too, even though they did something terrible. And I feel like those that are involved should have some repercussions instead of just being walked home. But that's a life, and people died for this. Like, a police officer unfortunately passed for this, and 4 people unfortunately passed because they were on the side that caused this. And again, life is life, no matter how you live it. But is this the hill that you guys want to die on? Like, so much hate and anger and destruction took place, you know what I mean? And I get not agreeing with someone, but there are different avenues and ways to do it to agree, right? Like, I just feel like you fear tactling someone doesn't help the movement that you're trying to make. Now, I know I saw a lot, and I heard a lot of comparisons with this in the Black Lives Matter movement. And I want to be the first and not the last to say that they are not the same protest. See, when we protested with the Black Lives Matter movement, there were riots, right? And I'm not the head of the Black Lives Matter movement, and I was not out there in the streets at all. I did something more productive, and I'm not knocking down the protest or the movement itself, but I felt as though having leaders speak, donating money, actually reforming schools does a little bit better job than sending the message that they were with the riots. However, I understand why. It is a very angering time, and yet again, someone died that shouldn't have died to the hands of police, regardless of race. I would have the same. You know, that's another thing. I know I'm going on a side tangent. I'll get back to the Capitol in a second. But that's another thing that's crazy to me. That police brutality is so desensitized to other people that they don't see the issue regardless on who the race is. If that was a white person who had a cop's knee on their neck and couldn't breathe, I would have the same emotion and the same anger as if it was a black guy or Hispanic guy or an Asian person or anybody. You know what I mean? Like, people are so desensitized to a life being lost, trying to justify it being like, oh, it was a mistake, even though I don't think it was. Oh, he's a cop and he's supposed to protect and serve, and let's go through all of his background and let's go through his whole list and see if he stole a candy bar. It does not matter. That's a life at the end of the day. And to circle back to that, it could have gone so differently at the Capitol. There could have been so many more lives lost on both sides, and it's crazy to me how that's not even seen as an important thing, but as like a side note, just like a commodity that just comes along with it. And the Black Lives Matter movement isn't about killing people or injuring them or fear tacting them. It's saying, hey, you guys haven't heard us before when we told you face to face, so let's all gather as a unit to tell you there is an issue in America, and that issue is there's racism. There are people that are dying for no reason just because of the color of their skin. There are people who aren't given the same opportunities, not because of their background, but because of what they look like, and that's unfair. And the quote-unquote movement that happened on Wednesday was not that. It was, hey, this person lost fairly, mind you, but they believe unfairly, so I will use their words. This person lost unfairly, so because they lost unfairly, let's just mess stuff up and leave because we want to. That's not how that works. When we protested near the Capitol, not inside the Capitol, not around the Capitol, near it, there was no plan to go in and harm the people that were in there. There was no plan to end up assassinating or killing anybody or injuring them. It was a matter of, hey, Capitol, hey, America, hey, government in general, regardless of who you are, we just want you to know we have a problem and we are Americans just like everybody else. And it frustrates me because I don't like that these people who did this, regardless of their race, because I saw some that were black, some that were Asian or whatever, believe that this man was unjustly robbed of his presidency, even though they recounted 2 to 3 times there was voice evidence of him actually cheating Even like he would cheat. I won't even get into that, but that's crazy to me. And I want my platform to be one of hope, one to be of happiness and joy and peace, because at the end of the day, that's what the Black Lives Matter movement was for. That's what a lot of other reasonable movements were for equality and for peace. And what happened on Wednesday was not that. It was another issue and another picture into why there are so many issues in America and the struggles that we have. Now, if you listen to all of this and you still disagree with me and how I feel about it, or you see something different, that's your opinion. And you see how that went? I didn't say that you were wrong. I didn't say that you were a horrible person for disagreeing with me. I just said that that's your opinion, and I'm agreeing to disagree with you. There's no animosity towards you. There's no anger or hatred towards you. I still love whoever you are listening right now. And that's what America should be. Yes, we are entitled to our opinions. Yes, we are entitled to believe whatever we want. But when it goes over the line and you're trying to force someone into doing things that you want to do by harming them or by threatening them, that's an issue. Like, I feel like a lot of our problems in America and just in the world would be solved quicker or begin the process to be solved if we are able to have a sit-down conversation like this and get our both sides across without having a screaming match or yelling who's right, who's wrong, who's a terrorist, who's a Nazi, who's this, that, and the third. It would get across so much better if we were to just have a civilized talk and be like, this is my opinion, this is your opinion, I hear you. And I agree to disagree, or let's try to work to find a medium. But instead, we're so focused on not being the villain in everybody's story that this is what America has led to. And frankly, I don't want to live it. That was a lot. That was heavy. I promise next week will be more cheery and fun. But I just wanted to give out my opinions about what happened here. I hope everybody stays safe. I love every single one of you who have listened to this up to this point. Let me know if you enjoyed what you on screen. I know it was very heavy and not dealing with an elephant. But yeah, that's Honestly Tea. And if you're here for Honestly Tea and for positivity, leave a like. Subscribe if you want to see more. And remember, every second that you see is me just connecting pieces. Thank you for coming. Thank you for staying. Thank you for watching this video.